Hey guys, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. I got a lot of requests for this one. It's none other than James Labrie, and the band is Dream Theater. I chose a couple different tunes because I'm doing just live takes. I'm not going to do album recorded stuff because I think it's more fair to do an evaluation of live. So I chose Surrounded first because it's a ballad, and then I'm going to break into something after that. But let's just get started, and we'll have a little bit of comment along the way. Okay, here we go.
Morning comes too early, and nighttime falls too late.
Morning comes tonight.
Sometimes all I want to do is wait.
Okay,
shadow-
very pretty. Sometimes all I want to do is wait. A lot of nice air, good tone, real sensitive, real ginger, and he's more of a belter wailer guy way up in the stratosphere. So right out the gate, again, I always say that, right out the gate, but right up front, he's got some really nice tone and pitch and sensitivity going on, okay?
All I've been hiding in has fled from me today. I know it's easier.
Very out of character for Dream Theater. They're a very progressive, heavy rock band. Nice job, James.
But I will raise a shelter to the skies, and here beneath this stars another light.
Again, he goes in and out of breath. And here beneath the star tonight. Then he tapers off with some nice cool air. That's tasty.
She will slowly yield the light as I awaken from the longest nights.
Kind of little like sticks there, actually. A buddy of mine actually signed this band. His name is Derek Oliver. He was at Atco Atlantic out of the UK, and no one would give this band the time of day, and Derek believed in the band, so Derek went ahead and gave him a shot, signed the band, and the rest is history, so that's pretty cool.
Dreams are shaking and silence waking up giant eyes. With the light of memories now rushing to his head.
It's kind of cold, like I said, like sticks in and dreams and na 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 na. He's got that real nice frontal sound, like Dennis DeYoung. I'm sailing away. He's got that real front sound. Cool.
By a candle stands a mirror of his heart and soul. She dances. She was dancing through the night about his bed. And walking to the window, he throws like shadows out against the wall.
Hear the sticks kind of influence there? It's pretty cool.
Come on, ivory tower, here's her call. Let the light surround you.
Very sticks influence for me. It's cool.
It's been a long, long time. He's had a while.
Okay, so he's gonna kind of stay in this. He's gonna stay in that tone, right? I'm gonna move on to another tune. But the other interesting thing is, if you listen to some of the other Dream Theater stuff, I want you guys to dig way back, and I want you to look up a band called Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and they're kind of like ELP, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, in the 21st century. They've definitely stepped it up, and they were a little dirtier in the distortion department. Not dirtier as in bad, dirtier as in heavier. But anyway, look look them up. Look up Carnival 9, First Impression. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Was so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. Right? And so that's Emerson Lake. That's Keith Emerson. Oh, no, Greg Lake. Sorry, singing that. In fact, Greg Lake went on to sing for another band called Asia, which ironically, another progressive guitar player was a guitar player for Yes. In fact, I tattooed Yes on my arm when I was about 7 years old. It's still there. Anyway, and so, Steve out of Yes was one of my favorite guitar players also. So, but I want to move on to something then that's a little more aggressive that Dream Theater is known for. And this is called Under a Glass Moon. I've cued it all the way up to the vocal. It's about a minute 26 into the song. We're going to play it and talk about it. Here we go. Da, da, na, na, na. Da, na, 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 na. I know I'm making up my own melody because I don't know it exactly, but that's kind of, he's putting this sound really nice far in front of the face. He's got a nice bright tone. Now he's adding a little extra grit on the bottom. I'm not such a fan of that kind of distortion. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd rather get a little bit more roundness out of the sound, but that's his thing, which is really cool. But I want to talk about early bridging in a second, and what James was known for is getting into his upper mid voice, upper head voice register really early on. Other people that have done that have been Jeff Tate, of course, when you think about Judas Priest, Rob Halford, and others. But that's a really dangerous thing. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but let's play a little bit more. Let's get into the upper register, and then we'll discuss it, okay? Here we go. You hear him kind of toggle between his chest and head voice, and it sounds a little shaky right at the passaggio, right at the register break. That's because he's bridging really early. And I'll talk about that more in 1 second here. Geddy Lee used to do that too. Crazy tight band. What a great band, man. Wow. All right, so a few things. Now, I know this is going to be a little tough to say, but I got to say it. There is a vocal method. I don't even need to name it. I'm just going to say there's a very famous vocal method out there that teaches early bridging. What is early bridging? Early bridging. I just went into my head voice and my reinforced falsetto without you telling, because you can't hear my register break, but I did go. It wouldn't be big difference then. If I'll do all over accentuate, I'll deliberately make you hear the break so you can hear me do it. That's how early I'm bridging. So okay. Now what Jeff Tate has done and what James Labrie has done, and I'm going to talk about Halford and Geddy Lee and some others. I'm going to leave them on the sideline for a second because they do something similar. But it actually costs them their voice. Now, in my course, I have a singing course called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. And the most important thing you can do is think of your voice like building a house. Okay? And you want the foundation of that house to be as big and robust and beefy as it possibly can. Well, what is the foundation? The foundation is your chest voice. So you want to grow a nice, big, fat, robust chest voice and stretch it as far as you can and get it nice and strong and powerful with a good resonance, that real nice, bright ping that we've talked about, that I talk about in my singing course. Now, that actually gives you the ability to start putting rooms and, different layers on this house or different floors on the house to build on it. If you don't do that, your voice atrophies or weakens over time. And so very evident as within James is, I know he claims he lost his voice in a different kind of way. Okay, I mean, everyone can, decide how they feel like they lost their voice. I'm just telling you as far as good vocal health and what we want to do. And same thing is true for Jeff Tate from Queensryche. He had a very similar situation happen where he lost his voice. This also happened, with Tony Harnell and TNT. This happened with, in fact, I can go down the list. I want to talk about Rob Halford first for a second, because Rob actually brought his head voice down into his chest voice, but Rob didn't care so much about belting in the chest register sound. Like you listen to songs like Painkiller and stuff, he's constantly in his head voice, and he's brought his head voice way down to his chest register, and he's been able to maintain and hold on to that sound for a really long time. Brad Delp from Boston kind of lost it as well when he went up into his head voice a little too early. Steve Perry did the same thing. He went into his head voice a little too early and didn't grow that really robust chest resonant sound, and tried to push the envelope of singing too heavy, too fast, without maturing that sound or maturating that sound over time first, and then adding these rooms, i.e. more head voice, and then handing off to head voice later from your chest resonant sound. So we have Steelheart, Manko Maticevic. So he also did the same thing. Now I know he had a stage incident where he got hurt, and a lot of people think that may be where he lost his voice as well. But I'm telling you, over time, as a 55-year-old guy here who's still doing it, you need to maintain that chest resonant sound way first. Get it nice and robust and hold on to that and make it strong and keep it strong. It's like your legs, man. You're not going to let your legs become prunes. You're going to keep them strong to keep the rest of your body stable and able to hold up the rest of the strength throughout your body. So that's kind of what happened. And we'll continue to listen to it, so I'll make some more comments along the way. Oh, one more thing. There's someone that's done a really good job of this, and he's a real unsung hero. His name is Rob Rock. I want you to look just like it sounds, R-O-B-R-O-C-K. Look up Rob Rock live, him doing like a Dio song, like The Last in Line, or whatever, live. Listen to some of that. Now, he also sings for Chris and Pelletieri and some others. Rob and I were in a band together many years ago, signed to Dieter Dierks, the producer of the Scorpions, in a band that I was in. We were going to, tour and whatnot together. I ended up leaving that band early to do another band at the time, and then he carried the torch and wound up doing that band. But look up Rob Rock. He does this technique flawlessly, and Rob understands how to maintain good chest registration. I think we're the same age. He might even be a year older than me, and he's still killing it to this day. So look up Rob Rock. But let's continue with Dream Theater, James Labrie, and here we go. Love all these breaks. He goes into his head voice there. Now listen to Rob Rock do this, because when Rob does it, Rob's got it, man. Rob could sit in with these guys pretty doggone easy and match him note for note and really kill it. So Rob, I can't say enough good things about how you've mastered this sound. Very difficult sound. Jeff Tate could have learned some things for the way you've done that. So anyway, sorry to say that, but I've just got to I got to give credit where credit's due. James is awesome. He's always been awesome. He set a precedent. I'm not dissing James in any way, shape, or form. I'm just trying to help us all learn how to keep our voices good and healthy along the way. Okay, let's continue. Total head voice. Hear him going head voice? It's not like that big. Now, There's another band called Sons of Apollo. A buddy of mine, Jeff Scott Soto, is actually singing for that band too. A couple of these guys have gone over to that just for a time. It's kind of like a fun, project group. And they have, some very similar grooves and some really fun songs like that. And then Jeff sings very differently than James, so Jeff's got a whole different. By the way, Jeff too, way back in the day, with singing with Yngwie Malmsteen and stuff, used to have a lot of range. And again, if you don't work that range, if you don't use it, you lose it over time. If you don't know how to protect it and take care of it. So, but Jeff's tone is so cool, and he's just such a phenomenal front man. In fact, he does Trans-Siberian Orchestra also. He does just a great job with that. So anyway, I'll continue a little bit more of this, but again, very progressive and whatnot. We're trying to get out some of the vocals, and they're kind of few and far between sometimes. Gosh, can you imagine remembering all those parts? It's a lot to remember, like Kansas, Come on, James, let's hear some singing, dude. A couple of those in there, man. Okay, let's see, there's gotta be some, this guy can pass a solo here. Hold on, past it. Hold on. It's coming up, I just know it. Maybe not, here we go. Good, powerful head voice. Cool. Okay, that was actually a pretty good mixed voice there. A lot of that was chest in that sound, and then he mixed some head voice in it to hold it without hearing like you're pulling chest and a lot of girth and muscle mass up top. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. Again, that's Dream Theater. That last song was Under Glass. And Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy. Until next time, hey, if you guys want to learn how to do some of this stuff, I have a singing course. It's called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. And you can get it at Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy. And come by our singing forums. We've got like over 20,000 people in there negotiating all this stuff. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me all over the place, gang. So Twitter, you name it. But anyway, until next time, God bless. Peace out. Hey guys, if you like what you heard, please like and subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button. That will actually take you to another page where you want to click on the bell icon, and it opens up a menu, and the menu has notifications on it where there's a little box you can check where it says send me all notifications for this channel. Check the box and then click the save button, and you'll get notifications from me every time I have a cool video come out. Okay? Thanks guys. Peace out.